actually attach their names to what they wrote, with the exception of letters, and there are none of these as books in the Old Testament. When individuals speak about themselves within a given book, for example, Moses, Nehemiah, Kohelet, teacher in Ecclesiastes, we may learn something about probable or possible authorship that we wouldn't otherwise know. But for the most part, modern concerns about matters of date and authorship were not given the same attention in ancient Israel. This is made obvious by their absence from most of these books. Many books, for example, nearly all the historical and poetical books, are entirely anonymous. And even though the source of the content of some books is given, by way of an editorial title at the beginning, and assumptions can often be made that the source also functioned as author, the concern over the book's actual author is not prominent in the book itself. As to dating, just 4 books, Ezekiel, Daniel, Zechariah, and Haggai, date any of their material, and of those only Haggai does so consistently. Thus we have chosen to minimize authorship in this reading guide, leaving it entirely alone when the biblical book itself is anonymous. One can say unknown only so many times. Our interest is in your reading the biblical document in its final canonical form, not in debating the issues of dates, sources, and authorship. Most of our energy, therefore, has gone into the 3 major sections of each chapter. The first, overview of, is designed to get you into the book by giving you a sense of what the whole is about. In some ways, it is a brief elaboration of the content sentence or sentences in the orienting section. The second, specific advice for reading, tends to elaborate the emphases from the orienting section. Here we offer a way of reading the text, some key themes to keep in mind as you do, or some crucial background material, all of which are designed to help you as you read the text for yourself. The final section, a walkthrough, then takes you by the hand, as it were, and walks you through the book, showing how its various parts work together to form the whole. Sometimes this takes more of an outline form. At other times, because we have purposely tried to keep our chapters brief, you will walk with giant steps. The books of Psalms and Proverbs were understandably the most difficult to fit into this pattern. Yet even here we have tried to help you see how the collections are put together. Above all, we have tried to write a book about the books of the Bible that will not be a substitute for reading the Bible itself. Rather, we hope it may create a desire in you to read each of the biblical books for yourself, while helping you make a fair amount of sense out of what you are reading. Note well, the key to using this book is for you to read the first 3 sections of each chapter: orienting data, overview, specific advice, and then to read the biblical text in conjunction with the section titled A Walkthrough. If you read a walkthrough on its own, it will become just more data for you to assimilate. Our intent is for you first to have some important preliminary data in hand, then truly to walk with you through your reading of the biblical book. This will, of course, be far more difficult for some of the longer books, just as it was for us to condense so much material into the brief parameters we allowed ourselves. But even here, while you may be reading over a more extended time period, we hope you will find this a helpful guide. A glossary is provided for those who need some guidance through the maze of technical terms that biblical scholars tend to use without forethought. See the accompanying PDF. We have also supplied a suggested chronological listing of the books for those who wish to read them in that order. See the appendix in the accompanying PDF. We have tried to write in such a way that you will be able to follow what is said, no matter which English translation you are using, provided it is a contemporary one. See Chapter 2 of How to Read the Bible for all it's worth. For the New Testament, Professor Fee regularly had today's New International Version, TNIV, in front of him as he wrote. For the Old Testament, the New International Version, 1984 edition, was used. Typically, when Bible verses are cited in this book, they are taken either from the NIV or from the New Testament.